When you say save it for the podcast, it kind of reminds me of a director for, an erotic film. It's like, hey, no making out before, but
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
get
yeah.
let the roll first. I don't want missing.
Right. Get the fluffer in here. Keep him going.
Exactly.
Notes I went out of my way to not say.
Too late.
It's out there now.
It's out
You
there
said,
now.
Oh man.
Corn. This is gonna be on
yes,
YouTube. We can only say corn.
corn. Things got weird in the corn maze the other night.
Niven is one of my favorite science fiction authors, right? And one of the things he posits is in the far future, the very things we use to censor, bad language become the actual curses themselves. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
when you go bippity beep, bippity beep, bap, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. And the whole, their original thing they were censoring is, just lost.
Long forgotten.
Welcome back to GC8. That's Geek Channel 8, the podcast for media geeks. I'm Eric.
I'm Will.
I'm Jason.
Ooh, nice.
Been working my way through Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No way, really?
Yes, I have.
No way. Okay, all right.
The last episode I just watched, I won't say binging because I take my time with these, but the last episode I watched was one that I missed because it never aired in the original run.
Oh, really? Okay.
I forget what it was called, but it was pulled because of the Columbine shooting.
Oh, wow.
I think it was called Earshot.
Hmm. Nice. I'm only in season 2, probably like episode 8, I think.
Season 3 is the one I'm on right now, and it's probably my favorite season.
I caught episodes of it here and there on Comet 64-5
Yeah.
was running it for a while, and I didn't watch it when it came out. Okay, like it was it was 99. I was busy doing stuff. But yeah, and I just didn't watch a lot of TV during that time. So yeah, I was like, okay, and like I said, I had seen enough episodes of it to where I was like, you know what, this seems kind of cool. And now I got a chance to binge it, so that's kind of what I've been doing.
So I have a question, guys.
Yeah.
There's one episode that looms large in my household because you
Hush. Hush your mouth.
know
Is
so
it Hush?
uh
Hush is a freaking awesome episode.
is that the musical one?
No, it's the opposite of the musical one.
Oh man, there's a musical one. God damn it! There's always a fucking musical. God damn it!
I will say nothing more other than it's a cross-generational joy in my household. I got to watch it when it came out. My son watched it.
Once More with Feeling is what it was called.
Yeah, that's it. And then he got to introduce it to my younger kid. And there was a point where we could pretty much sing all of the songs.
Did they do it before Xena or did Xena? I think Xena did it first.
That seems likely. That
Mm,
seems
Yeah.
likely.
yeah.
But Buffy is the one that like everybody knows about. And then after Buffy did it, everybody had to have a musical episode.
Yeah.
But that is the obvious predecessor to Dr. Horrible's sing along blog.
Yes. Yes. Which I love that. Mm.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
It is pretty great, and though it's funny, I like looking at it through the lens of our, I would say of this future we live in now with all these super, I mean, basically, I'm like, what if he had just asked her out? That was a question anyway, right? And now looking through the manosphere lens that we're living in now, I'm like, oh.
Wait, what manosphere lens are you living in?
Well, I mean,
It's like the incel playbook, dude.
it is. Well, I can't just ask her out. I guess I have to be a supervillain. I'll just destroy half the world and I'll give it to her on a plane. It's like, or you could ask her out.
You can just ask her out, bro.
Now,
It's the playbook for every incel that I've
It's
ever met.
super incelly. It's super villainy silly.
I'll tell you what else I've been watching. I watched a film from the 80s that I didn't see in the 80s. Much like that episode of Buffy, it's been like on my like I'll watch it someday list forever, and that is Mask. Not The Mask with Jim Carrey, but Mask with Cher, based on a true story. It was exactly what I was expecting it to be. Actually, it was a little bit better than I was expecting it to be because it didn't overly dwell on this disfigured son of the main character.
Played by Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz, yeah, that's right.
Ask me because I've seen that movie a bunch, and you made me watch it again, and I was like, God damn it, Eric.
You didn't have to, it was extra credit.
Well, and
He's
then
studious. That's all. He can't help
you
himself.
know,
He can't do it.
and then I've got time on my hands. I can watch TV.
Well, we'll talk about why maybe that movie might provide some context to today's show. Maybe a little bit, just a little bit of context. We're doing an episode of the X-Files, and again, I'm going to ask you guys if it has anything to do with Frankenstein when we get into this, or is it more about a freak? X-Files Season 5, Episode 5, the Post-Modern Prometheus from 1997. So a little background to 1997.
Let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back. January of 1997. On the 1st of January, the emergency alert system was introduced in the United States. In February, the Sandline affair happened on February 10th. Basically, Australian newspapers published stories that the government of Papua New Guinea has brought mercenaries onto Bougainville Island.
Well,
1997, March 4th, President Bill Clinton banned federal funding for any research on human cloning.
Yeah.
mm, mm, mm.
No, don't get me just down that rabbit hole. Oh boy.
April 29th of 1997, 2 trains crashed in Hunan. 126 people died. May 21st, Radiohead released OK Computer.
Nice.
June 11th, in the UK, the House of Commons voted for a total ban on handguns. July 10th of 1997, in London, scientists report their DNA analysis findings from a Neanderthal skeleton, which support the out of Africa theory of human evolution, placing an Africa Eve at 100,000 to 200,000 years ago. August 13th, Trey Parker and Matt Stone's animated comedy TV series South Park started broadcasting with the first episode, Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, on Comedy Central.
What a flash in the pan.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll never last.
September 27th of 1997, the sports-fused entertainment TV program Sasuke starts on TBS in Japan. October of 1997, the first color photograph appears on the front page of the New York Times.
Wow.
November 17th, in Luxor, Egypt, 62 people are killed by 6 Islamic militants outside the Temple of Hatshepsut.
Wow.
And then December 19th of 1997, Titanic is released in U.S. theaters. It will become the 4th highest grossing film of all time once adjusting for inflation.
Oh, wow.
Still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Nah.
I mean, you know what happens at the end, right?
I mean, I got a pretty clear idea.
I'll give you a hint. It sinks. Chris Carter was starting into the 5th season of The X-Files, and he wanted to sort of lighten the mood with some quirky episodes. He kind of wanted a Frankenstein-inspired episode, but couldn't figure out how to sort of reconcile the tone of Frankenstein with the style of The X-Files. And so he decided he was going to write a script that blurred the real world with the X-Files reality and had a fantasy element to it. He wanted it to feel kind of like fairy tales or folk tales. He also wanted to echo elements of the 1931 James Whale film using modern science and the old style approach. For that reason, shot it in black and white.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah. Carter visited a friend of the series' science advisor, Ann Simon, who worked at IU, Indiana University. This scientist, Dr. Kaufman, he had been able to genetically manipulate flies so that they grew legs from their eyes.
No.
And so after that, Carter created the character of the Great Mutato. He then discovered there was already a Great Mutato in Simpsons comics.
Wow.
And he talked to Matt Groening, and Matt Groening gave Carter permission to use the name. As he was writing this episode, he had spent the whole summer listening to Cher's music.
Ugh.
He knew that Cher's half sister was a big X-Files fan. I don't know how he knew this, but he knew this. And he heard that Cher was intrigued and would probably be interested in making an X-Files episode, guest appearance. He had also heard that Roseanne Barr, who was very popular at the time, had a sitcom, Roseanne, also was interested in being on the X-Files. So he wrote an episode specifically for those two, neither of whom actually appear in the episode.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah, they were both unavailable. The Great Mutato in this episode is played by Chris Owens, who would later be the guy who takes over the X-Files after Mulder and Scully in the later seasons. It was a well-received. It was nominated for, I think, 8 Emmy Awards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It actually won an Emmy. I think for makeup. I'm not positive of which Emmy it took.
It looked really, he looked really good in that.
Yeah.
Like, the effects on that one were pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
The X-Files presents a black and white horror tale.
Up there!
With a monster, a mad scientist, and an angry mob. Could it get any scarier than this?
Is it true Jerry Springer's coming to town?
An all-new X-Files, Sunday at 9, 8 Central. So many mysteries, just one Fox.
Well, it starts with a comic book cover, and then it flips, and then
yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah. The Great Mutato.
There's a kid, he's working on a 50s looking, car. The kid wants to go off to the comic book convention, and mom's yelling at him, no, you ain't going anywhere. And he's like, well, I'm 18. He's like, well, you're 18, you can go where you want, but where are you going to live when you get back? I love that part.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
And then
That's
she
some
says,
mom shit right there.
right
boy.
there. It's like, I'm like, keeping it real. That's real. But like, she lets him go.
At home, watching, I think, did we get Jerry Springer this early in this?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. She's
Watching Jerry Springer.
And
Yeah. And all the, suddenly, like, all the, something goes down covering the windows and everything. And something gets thrown on the skillet and it starts smoking, but it doesn't look like a burger patty.
It's like it's a puck of some kind.
A white puck. Yeah.
a urinal cake. No.
Yeah, like a urinal cake.
It starts
You know?
smoking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
And then there's somebody in the house.
Yes.
Do 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 do.
Mhm.
Then we cut to commercial, and when we come back, it's Mulder and Scully in a car traveling to Indiana. I'll be in Indiana, actually. And Scully's reading, I don't know what else to call it, but Mulder fan mail. Like,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
like people writing to him saying they want to investigate stuff, because Mulder was actually interviewed by Jerry Springer or whatever as an expert, because they had this wolf baby episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mom had a wolf baby. Wolf baby.
So this woman claims to have been impregnated by a monster. That's why they're going there.
And it's so far back that he's like, "You think it's time for me to get my own 1-900 number?"
Yeah, yeah.
That's like I'm like, wow, that's blast from the past.
They show up and they question her, and they're like, she's like, yeah, the house smelled funny. Everything. I don't really remember what happened. She remembers something about hearing like a Cher song was playing on the radio or some shit while something was happening. Yeah, because that's what like put this creature in the mood or whatever. That was, you know, Cher
Yeah.
soundtrack. Pretty
Yeah.
brutal in my opinion, but whatever. Honestly, because I was just so mad that I had to watch The Mask that I didn't really care about this fucking TV show. I was like, what? The creature though is infatuated with Cher. You find out as the episode goes along. Like he's got like a shrine built to her. He's impregnating these women, right? Like basically, like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're getting.
Well, the town is like loving this. Like they're eating
yeah,
it up. There's a local reporter who's writing about it. They meet an old guy who's like angry old guy, you know, the kind that yells at clouds is like, yeah,
right,
there is no
right.
monster,
Get off my land.
Yeah.
Oh, and the thing is that when they go meet her, when they go meet the woman who reports her pregnancy, of course, our skeptic, she's going around. She's like, oh, and you saw somebody with like a man, this hard face with like two mouths. You mean like on this comic book that your son made? He's like, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that don't
And
mean it didn't happen. And then the son is like, yeah, no, because I've seen them.
that's the
Everybody's seen
great
them.
mutado.
That's the
yeah. The
great
Great
Mikado.
Mutado.
That's why
Yeah,
they end up in a field with
yeah. Trying to
He's
bait him in because he eats. That's right. Because he eats peanut butter sandwiches.
so they leave
yes.
one on a stump. Yeah.
Yeah, to
While
lure him in.
while he was out, yeah, while he was in there, apparently both times, because this is the second time this has happened to her. The first time
Yeah,
that it resulted in her son. So anyway, so she's like each time they eat up all the peanut butter. So yeah, they put it out there. I mean, and Scooby-Doo style, he does show
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So you see Mulder and Scully walking and talking and having this conversation about the locals, almost in a disconnect from them. I'm like, can't they hear you talking? I kept thinking that, but it was like they were just background and they were walking in front of them. So they have this conversation about like, are people just it's obviously this is just people doing a hoax. They're so desperate to be on Jerry Springer. You know,
Right.
it was a commentary about like reality television in its infancy and people's wanting to be so desperate to be part of media.
One of these two is the Mary Sue here, who's like the voice of the writer or the voice of the audience. Is it Scully saying that, oh, society's all like people just want to like be on Jerry Springer, or is it Mulder who's like they go and they meet this geneticist, Dr. Paul Adari.
Which is yeah. I
Note
caught
the
that one
name.
too.
Do you remember the
Polidori.
name?
Yeah, I do. I
Where
do.
did we hear that name before? Yeah. And he's the one that shows them like genetic experiments of like arms coming out of fly's eye. And he's been like, in theory, this could work on humans, whatever. Afterward, Mulder tells Scully, he thinks Polidori is acting like a modern day Victor Frankenstein and has created the great mutado.
What I would say, there is only one voice, and it's arguing with itself. But the real message is that it's the postmodernism of it. It's the commentary on the story itself. The stories within a story, all that stuff is his real jam. It's a very authory sort of thing he's doing with it. It's a story about these stories, and of course, we get these story beats that we expect to see. For example, this Frankenstein doctor-ish person, the doctor, he has a wife.
Yeah, what's her name?
What is her name?
Elizabeth. Where have we heard that
Oh,
before?
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So keep in mind, at some point, I'm going to ask you guys: is this a Frankenstein story? There's no creation scene.
But he's very dismissive of her and her concerns, and he's hyper focused on becoming famous. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
it was
like,
like very frank.
She wants,
We've seen this
most
before.
importantly, she wants a child.
right.
She wants to
Right.
have a child. Keep
Uh,
that in mind.
right,
And
Which,
Mulder
exactly.
and Scully later are arguing about that same thing. Like, oh, Scully's like, what's even the appeal of this? And it's like it's creating life, and like
We already can do
we already have
that.
that power. It's called
yeah.
procreation.
Yeah. It's pretty easy.
Ringing any bells for you guys here?
Yeah, sure. It did hit some tropes.
Yeah, there's procedural medicine. There's all that stuff. So one of the story notes is that they're investigating the doctor because the old man who's saying, "Get off my land! There's no such
Yeah,
monsters
yeah.
except one," and he refers to my son, this doctor. That's what
Right.
gets them in that direction. So there's also some cool scenes where it's like it's very Twin Peak-esque, where they're in the diner interacting with the with the
Oh yeah,
locals.
they're all smiling at him real strange.
Yeah.
Like what the
Well,
fuck are
at
you
first they
looking
all
at?
like him because, like, oh, he's like bringing fame to the town, and then after he starts exposing this,
For a hoax.
Yeah. And the entire time he's walking around, like a lot of the times, there's somebody there with a notebook, but which they seem to ignore mostly.
She was the town reporter. She was the
Right.
reporter, like kind of on the fringe of all the
Yeah.
scenes.
when she like wrote about it as being a hoax, then everybody in the diner like turns on him on a dime. They spit on his food. They try to like stick their
Yeah.
leg out to try to trip
Trip
him,
him.
and then the waitress like pours the hot coffee right in his lap,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they cut this line, or the censors cut it or whatever, but apparently Duchovny ad-libbed a line that got cut from the final version where he said, "Why'd you go and do that for? Now my crotch is going to be up all night."
Nice.
Which,
That's it.
like, God, nowadays that would so get left in. But yeah, another little piece of Frankenstein trivia here is that he said he studied at Ingolstadt, which is where Victor Frankenstein is
Ah,
supposed to have
nice.
studied at
Okay.
in the novel. Yeah. So okay. I think we've broken down the plot. We won't give away the ending, except to say it all ends with a torch wielding mob, as you
Yeah,
might
I was gonna
expect.
say.
Another
Yeah.
another hallmark
Another
of a
hallmark.
Frank.
And then they're all in this barn, and I like they cut from animals to people, and you see like a chicken, and you notice the reporter looks like a chicken, and the one guy looks like a goat, and a pig, and a
Yeah.
horse, and it's like, and I wasn't sure where they were going with that. Like, it's vaguely Animal Farmy, but it's also like reminded me a little of Freaks. So I was like, oh, is this a tip of the hat
I think the
to Freaks?
implication is that we got the idea in the beginning that it was that it was our the monster figure who was impregnating these women, but we get the indication no, it was actually the father, and he was trying to create the father was trying to create a mate for
So
uh,
might there have been some like Isle of Dr.
that's
Moreau
what I
shit going
think they
on
were
here?
implying.
Probably, yeah.
That a big part
Probably.
of a lot of people in this town were actually
There's a lot of leftist speculation about this episode. I'm just gonna say that when you actually like kind of
Dude,
take it all
it's
in.
totally Man Bear Pig.
Yeah. I mean,
well, and we have a beautiful impassioned speech from
Oh, what did that remind you of?
actually I would go even far as back as to one of the first things in this series that we watched, which was the homunculus, even that far back.
Perhaps, but there's something more recent that we watched that it is very similar to. The speech given by the monster at the end of Young Frankenstein.
Oh. Oh.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
They,
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
couple of the
Yeah.
lines are almost exactly the same.
Okay. I thought.
And
I
the reaction
honestly.
was very the same. Oh, he's not a monster.
I kind of thought the same. I did until you told me what it was. I was like, "What is this? This is something. What is this?" Okay, cool.
Yeah, Peter Boyle's character addresses the whole crowd and he's like, I may be this hideous thing, but, and like a couple of the lines are almost identical. So it's clear that one is a pretty clear reference to Young Frankenstein. First of all, there is an "it's alive" scene in this. So I guess I said there wasn't a creation scene, but there kind of is. So, Will, how do you rank the creation scene?
Oh, I mean, it was. I mean,
Okay.
there weren't any sparks. Damn it!
All right. We
I'm
will.
gonna say,
Where's the Jacob's ladder?
yeah, that's right, man.
We need some
Okay.
turbines up in here. No switches. Nobody
No
throws
switches. There's not even one switch, much less.
Not even one damn switch.
This is genetic engineering, baby. This is we're past.
Hey.
GE isn't about electric lights anymore.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow, that was well done. But
GE, we bring good things to life. All right.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
it's basically going to be delivering peanut butter to your mouth with plain white bread. It's a peanut butter sandwich. They don't even elaborate on it being like, I don't know, nut butter, or what, like a fluffer butter or a banana. No, it's just a peanut butter sandwich. Okay, that's all it is. I can't eat peanuts anymore, so that's not what I went with. And also, there's this easy way to elevate any kind of nut butter sandwich. All right, I'm going to give you the way I do almost every time I eat one, and then I'll tell you some other ways real quick. But the easy way is this: you make your nut butter sandwich, and then on the outside, you slather with butter, and then you grill that sucker in a pan like it's a grilled cheese.
That's very close to an Elvis sandwich right there.
Right. Well, I mean, whatever it is, if it's peanut butter by itself, it's peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter, and you've turned it into a pastry. It's a freaking pastry. Eat that with some, your choice of kinds of milk, and it's freaking ridiculous. I can eat 3 in a sitting easily. It's crazy good. Now, that's one way. The other thing I've heard recently is, and this is actually totally antithetical to what we saw in the show. The show is showing a very white bread small town in Indiana. There is such a thing as basically Jamaican style peanut butter. Go look it up. But basically, yeah. So what were they at? Well, what do you think? It's number one, peppers and other spices to peanut butter.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, and
Oh man.
it's like, oh, we're just taking it to the savory side. And if you like Thai food with peanut sauce or anything like that, you're gonna be like slapping your head. Oh no, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, I couldn't leave you guys there with just a peanut butter sandwich because I mean that's just a choke sandwich anyway. I had to elevate it a couple of ways, but that's what I would definitely do. And yeah,
I'm a fan of the peanut butter and banana sandwich myself.
yeah, no, you could keep going, but you don't need to. You can just do that, and you'll be real happy. And
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right, back to our show. First of all, is this Frankenstein film or show?
I'm gonna give it a yes, actually.
It hit enough boxes for me too to
So
Frankenstein.
it's not Castle Freak. It's not a freak. He's not a freak. He's a monster. He's a created monster. Versus
He's not a freak. He just wants some respect. So close the door if you want him to respond.
Is there
Okay.
some overlap here?
He definitely falls on the freak because that he is a human a human oddity, right?
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
is
yeah.
biological, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all, and that is his, the interaction he has with humanity is like point and look. But also, but actually, for most of the show, not terror. They weren't afraid of him. They thought he was kind of cool, but freaky. But his creation comes from the hubris of a man, right? And then you have this whole family of hubris going on where they with go
Absolutely.
you know the hubris of men, usurpation of the creative ability of women, playing God, things gone wrong. I've and of course there's but this is not a small part of it because they were very explicit that this is what they were trying to do. Now, so they were explicit that this was the postmodern Prometheus.
Okay. And this is supposed to be a lighthearted episode of the X-Files, but the original Frankenstein is not lighthearted at all. And you're never like, there are times you feel sympathy for the creature, but also he's a murderer and he does all this other stuff. Are we just gonna glance over the whole like rape in this? Like
I'm
multiple
saying,
rapes?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I
Date
by the
rape
end we're all like,
gas.
oh, he's just a misunderstood creature and blah blah.
No,
But
not
like there were rapes that happened. Okay, now
yeah.
granted, the outcomes of those rapes was like a happy experience. Like it's like, but
No,
I don't
But
know.
rape, but rape
I don't know how to
nonetheless.
process this. Okay, is what I'm saying.
no, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of
mean,
like well, in typical X-Files fashion, it's like the probing, as it were, happens off screen, basically.
Cartman,
Yeah.
you got probed. And it's like, no, I mean, why would they do that?
Yeah, no, it is disturbing, and it is sort of the thing where they cut to. I mean, there's a portion where like we go forward and the most recent babies look just like him.
Like Elizabeth wanted a baby, and like
right,
the great mutato provided.
right.
Provided, yeah. It's I mean, but the whole thing, especially at the end, it's very parable. It's a parable. Like it is very, I guess postmodern. I don't really understand postmodern, modern, postmodern, any of that crap. But it's like, they're talking about there's a story talking about story here. And it's very, parable. It's told through, slices of people being on talk shows, that quote, but that really happens. But also, it just we end in just utterly improbable stuff that's like, okay, but it's um yeah, the show totally just glances over that horrificness, and so does
The town,
the town.
the whole
Yeah.
town. They're like, yeah, oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, like he sneaks in, puts on some Cher, throws a date rape puck on the kitchen oven stove, so it gets all puts him in the
Uh,
mood.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah, I mean,
man.
and the other thing is, for whatever reason, much like that Buffy episode, and much like those others, I did not get to see this in its initial run. I saw the one before it, and I saw the one after it, and I might have seen part of it, but had to leave and couldn't see the whole thing. Whatever the case is, I hadn't seen it. But for all these years, I knew what the story was about, and for some reason, I had an impression that what might have been going on here is that like it was actually Polidori the whole time, like, and it was just getting blamed on the monster. Like he was the
Mm.
one going in and
Yeah, I kind of thought that too.
like, but I on rewatch, I'm like, no, it's definitely the mutato. So I don't know, you know.
Well, I mean, more importantly, it's the Mutado's father, both of their fathers, because that technically, the father of the our Dr. Frankenstein,
Frankenstein. Like I
you know,
disavow his research.
who is the old man, get off my lawn. He adopts the monster.
which is another another trope from all the other there. He just wasn't blind. That's all.
He wasn't blind. That's it.
he just wasn't
But,
blind. There wasn't a
you know,
blind person.
There's one of the main tropes. The another trope is, of course, is that there's one madman who begins this work, and there's other men who are consumed by the same madness. It is not. It doesn't stop with one. It's like often it's at least three.
Yeah.
It just keeps on. It's catching. You know, it's consuming. It's perverting. It. You know, being exposed to it, you get involved, and then you end up carrying on the work, or perverting it, or whatever. But yeah,
I guess that depends on who you ask.
Right, exactly.
By the way, the Emmy this one was for art direction.
Oh, yeah, that scans. That scans.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you know what? I looked at, I think Pleasantville, I think I looked it up. I think it comes in 98. So it reminded me immediately of Pleasantville, the movie. And because we're using the black and white
So
to,
that came out after this, yeah.
yeah, to put us in this, space.
Well, I think there's a long tradition of like, if stuff takes place in the past, we put it in black and white,
True, but we usually don't. I mean, a lot of times they'll start it there, but they won't leave it there. And I don't know where the tradition started either. It's one of those things. Like I think they did this. This is
Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Right? Wizard of Oz, right?
Can we edit that out the part where I had no idea? Yeah, no, that makes really good sense there. Yeah. So they don't, but they stuck with it. They went in and they didn't deviate. And there's at least one other example of this. They did, I think it was a remake of The Mist, where they did it in black and white, I think. So, yeah, it's it's a choice that does, I'm sure it doesn't work all the time, but yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
Very
again, you
arty.
can get away with it.
we've talked about like that on the show, how expensive it is to do both. Like Rocky Horror Picture Show, they wanted to start it in black and white, and then when Frank comes down the elevator and for the first time it switches to color. Like that was one of the things. I think there was another one. Anyway, a lot of times it never happens because they don't have the budget to do it.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure somebody will go back and redo them and with fucking
Yeah.
something. Yay.
We should go, Mulder. The prisoner's in the car.
This is all wrong, Scully. This is not how the story's supposed to end.
What do you mean?
Dr. Frankenstein pays for his evil ambitions, yes, but the monster is supposed to escape to go search for his bride.
There's not going to be any bride, Mulder. Not in this story.
Well, where's the writer? I'm going to speak to the writer.
Well, I guess we should talk about Cher. The whole thing ends with a Cher concert with a lookalike because they couldn't get the real Cher. This is David Duchovny's favorite ending scene of any X-Files. Mulder and Scully dancing at this show, and great mutatos with them in the front row, digging the Cher music. Mulder and Scully were supposed to kiss, but Chris Carter thought that was like a bridge too far.
Yeah,
and so he cut it.
The creature is watching the movie The Mask with Eric Stoltz.
He's a big fan of it, and Cher music gets played this a lot. So that's why I watched Mask in advance of this.
I could have skipped it.
You could have.
I could have.
It was optional. But you see, there is a connection to this show.
There is. Yes, certainly. Yes.
You have already seen The Mask before.
A bunch.
It's just called Mask, not The
just called
Mask.
Mask.
Yeah,
not The
Mask. Yeah.
And-
Mask.
And you watched it again. Was it hard because it was not good?
When that movie came out, my grandparents had cable, and it was on HBO a bunch.
I remember
So
that.
I watched it a lot, And now that I'm an adult and I'm looking at it through a different lens, Cher kind of overacts a little bit, and like
Oh yeah.
Tell me something. Is it hard to love these babies?
What's not to love?
there is this whole thing about like the biker culture that sort of accepts him for who he is that I like about that.
And that does actually track for their problems. You know, bikers actually do kind of care about community and stuff like that, you know, and helping kids and shit like that.
There's a lot about like the father figure, the dad. Who's the dad? Like that's a big thing in Mask as it is in this
Yeah.
episode.
Okay. I was just checking on, it's like so it doesn't hold up that well is what I'm getting, but I don't know. It sounds like it'll be worth watching.
It's not a bad movie. The acting is really good in it. I mean, like I said, though, their share is a bit much at times, but ultimately it is a pretty good movie.
Okay, so final verdict, not on Mask, but on this episode.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah. Thumbs up. It was good.
Thumbs up for me too.
I'm gonna say thumbs up, and I think especially if you like, for instance, I fell out of love with the X-Files long before it was over, but I kind of love this. It was able to do something cool.
Look, if you want to watch the X-Files, there's one way to watch the X-Files, and that is if there's an episode that has to deal with the overall alien conspiracy, skip it.
See, yeah.
If it's a, especially if it's a one shot, watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how to watch the X-Files.
I think you nailed it there, buddy. It's one of those weird things where they were able to shove in a lot of cool stuff into it and tell some cool stories. But like, I have to say, I've avoided so much pain in like watching shows that are promising, they're promising a payoff, which is never going to really come. It's always going to be disappointing because I was so disappointed over and over again with the X-Files. So like, Lost, nope, never got me.
No.
Nope,
And
I was immune.
I lost weeks. That's what I lost.
yeah, I lost a lot of good time.
I lost some time there, buddy.
So my rule about the X-Files goes for the movies too. So the first movie, which was just called the X-Files, skip it. It was an attempt to like tie up the loose ends about the alien conspiracy, and it never really ties up the loose ends anyway. But the second film they did, X-Files, I Want to Believe, which came out like a decade later, that's actually worth seeing because it's a one shot. Like it's all a self-contained movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Just my opinion, but there you go. So we're all in agreement. We all give this episode a thumbs up. We've also told you our opinion on Mask and on other stuff.
On other stuff too.
Lots of opinions here.
They're
free and worth every penny.
Okay. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes or, get a couple of other people to listen to the show. You can follow us on Facebook. We got a Facebook group. You can write to us by email at gc8podcast, letter G, letter C, number 8 podcast at gmail.com. Until next time, this is Eric.
This is Will.
I'm Jason.
Signing off.
About 10 minutes of that, security came down and chased him off.